Well, I think it's about time we predict possibly the biggest competition in club football. Yes, we are talking about the Champions League. I don't actually own a shirt of a team playing in the Champions League this season, so we can just pretend this is an Inter Milan one, right? Solid. So the Champions League actually starts today as I'm recording this. I'm not sure whether it will be out today or tomorrow, but it's here. I'm looking forward to it. I do enjoy European football, but my knowledge of European football, it's not the best. I won't cap. But these are my predictions for the group stages, and then I should do predictions after the group stages are all done for who I think will go on to win it. But I will also talk about my winner here because I have an early prediction for a winning side. Okay, so I'm going to start with Group A. They have Liverpool, Rangers, Napoli, and Ajax, which is a lovely, lovely group. And we'll start with who I think will finish fourth in the group. So unfortunately for Ajax fans, I've put Ajax in fourth. They've lost many good players like Haller, Anthony, Martinez, Gravenberch, and they lost Ten Hag as well. That is a very big blow to Ajax, as Ten Hag was a very, very good manager who got the most out of the Ajax team. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do this season, but I can't see them doing well in Europe. Their new manager Schroeder did win the Belgian league last season with Club Brugge and has worked under Ten Hag previously. So there's a bit of continuity there, which will be good for Ajax. And they've made some good new signings such as Bergwijn and Bassi. However, I don't think this is the season they'll do well in Europe, personally. It's like a transitional season for them, I think. In third place, I've got Napoli. The kit merchants managed to finish third last season in Serie A, finishing ahead of the likes of Juve and Lazio. So they did well. They released like a bajillion kits and currently sit first in Serie A. Unfortunately, though, they have lost the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly and Lorenzo Insigne, who were very good for them last season. Koulibaly especially is probably one of the best centre-backs in the world. However, with Victor Osimhen and Kvisha Kavashik, look, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's on screen. I think there'll be a very powerful link-up. Donny, whose name I can't say, already scored 4 goals this season, so he's looking good. But Napoli have lost a lot of players, as I mentioned, so I can see them choking in Europe and failing to qualify for the round of 16. Move on to second place. Now, this might be a rogue shout, but I've backed Rangers here. This is the first time in the Champions League since 2011. They had a great European run last season, as I'm sure we're all aware. New signing Antonio Cholak has already scored 7 goals in all competitions this season. He's looking very good. He might become their top goal scorer after their previous goal scorer has kind of fallen out of favour with the club. Malik Tillman and Tom Lawrence are also looking very good in Rangers shirts. Very solid in the place of losses like Joe Aribo, who was a very good player for them last season. I don't think a lot of people are going to back them, but I can see them going under the radar to finish second in the group stage. Whether they'll get knocked out in the round of 16, probably. And I think it's obvious who wins Group A is Liverpool. They have had a rough start to the season by their own standards, but they've still got plenty of class within the squad to do a number in the Champions League. They did lose Mane, who was an amazing player for them. He was netting and contributing. I was going out of fashion. However, Luis Diaz is starting to fill in that gap, and they have many different types of striker available to help Liverpool net goals this season. I can't really see them struggling in this group. Yeah, I reckon they'll walk it easily. And then move on to Group B, which has the likes of Atletico Madrid, Porto, Club Brugge, and Bayer Leverkusen. And finishing bottom of this group, I have got Bayer Leverkusen. One of their bright sparks in Florian Wirtz is out with an ACL injury, which is likely going to see him out for the rest of the year. Not great for them, as he is a very good player when actually playing. Patrick Schick had a great start last season with 24 goals, and Jeremy Frimpong has been a great player for them and currently ranks as their top goal scorer this season. However, that has likely changed by the time this video goes out. However, they did not start this season great, and I can see them struggling in this group as well, because there are some pretty good squads in here. And in third place, I've got Club Brugge. Back in the UCL after regaining their Belgian league title last season under the new Ajax manager. Yeah, they're back in the UCL. However, they did lose one of their best players in Charles de Ketelaere. My pronunciation is terrible. I should have started the video of that. But they lost him to AC Milan, but kept hold of Noah Lang, although he's currently injured. They signed Yaremchuk from Benfica, so hopefully he can help them up front. And they've done decently in the Champions League before, and I imagine they'll do okay in the group, but I don't think it'll be enough for them to escape. And in second place, runners-up, we've got Porto. Porto won the Portuguese Primeira Liga last season, but in doing so, lost many players, as is usually the case. They lost the likes of Vitinha, Fabio Vieira, and Sergio Oliveira. However, they still have good players in the likes of João Mario, Mehdi Taremi, and Octavio. They also brought in the likes of Gabriel Veron, who could be a very good player as he gets used to the European scene. So I think they'll do well in their group. They're not a bad team. They did lose a few good players, but they've brought in lots of talent to help balance the team out, I think. Winning Group B is Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico aren't looking the greatest team at the moment. Diego Simeone is keeping them up. He's honestly carrying this team. If they lost him, I could see them falling quite far. They always seem to do a number under him, whereas if it was a different manager, I'm not sure he could get the most out of them. Also, João Felix, this could be his season. He's been getting better each season, and he started this one brightly. So, you know what? I'm going to say it. João Felix is going to have a banger of a season this season. While their defence isn't the best, I don't see it being too threatened by this group, as they don't really have that attacking power to really threaten Atleti. Plus, Simeone knows what he's doing. They're winning the group. Move on to Group C now, this is arguably the group of death, with Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Barcelona, and Victoria Plzen. You know, the Czech powerhouses. And in fourth place, unfortunately, is Victoria Plzen. They're going to have some insane European nights in Czechoslovakia, but I can't see them doing anything in this group. I'm sorry, little one, but the draw absolutely shafted you. I could definitely see them pulling a sheriff and getting a win over on one of these teams, though, because that would just be prime Champions League content. Moving on to third place, and I've got Barcelona. Now, Barcelona this season looked like a completely different team to the one last season. Last season, they looked like they were finished. Losing Messi and being $1 billion in debt is not a good recipe for success. Yet here they are in the Champions League, sitting with the likes of Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Jules Koundé. How have they done that then? They also managed to keep hold of Gavi, Pedri, and Ansu Fati. However, I'm not sure that'll be enough to keep them in the Champions League. Xavi is definitely making something this season, but I don't think this is the season for it to really come good. I think it might need another year of development. Second place, I have Inter Milan. Definitely this shirt I'm wearing. Inter Milan have sort of fallen off as of recent. They lost a Scudetto to arch rivals AC Milan and then got thrown into the group of death. So, yeah, good luck. Their backline will be a major factor in them doing well in this group. They also have the frontline pairing of Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku again, which last time these two linked up, they gave Inter 41 of their 89 goals in the 2021 season. Now, Lukaku did have a shocker at Chelsea, but he's still a very good player, and I can imagine they're going to link up for many more goals this season. And in first place, Bayern Munich. I think it's obvious that Bayern Munich are going to win this group. They are undoubtedly the best side of the four. They may have lost Lewandowski, but they do have Marlene Muller. And honestly, Bayern do not seem to be missing Lewandowski. However, this is the Bayern Liga, so it remains to be seen whether they actually need Lewandowski to dominate in Europe. But they normally dominate They normally dominate the Bundesliga anyway, so it was to be expected. Despite domestic dominance, they still have a really strong squad that can face Europe's best, and has a very strong core with lots of depth. I can only see Bayern winning this group somehow. Well, not somehow, they are the better squad, so, you know. And move on to Group D, personally the group I'm most excited about. We have Tottenham Hotspur, Sporting Club de Portugal, Marseille, and Frankfurt. And in fourth place, I've got Frankfurt. They won the Europa League last season to gain them a place in the Champions League this season, and they won it with a very good match against West Ham. You know, it looked good. However, I cannot see them going far this season. They lost integral players such as Kostic to Juve, but they still have the likes of Kamada, Knauf, and Bore, who can give them a good chance of scoring goals even in this tough group. I probably did pronounce those names wrong, so I do apologise. And in third place, we've got Marseille. Now, Marseille don't normally do well in Europe. However, I'm backing them to just be ahead of Frankfurt this season. They've got a strong squad with a combination of veteran players and some youngsters, with the likes of Dimitri Payet still performing well at the age of 35. They brought in the likes of Jonathan Klaus and Matteo Guendouzi, who had great seasons last season. However, they have lost Boubacar Kamara to Aston Villa, who was a very stalwart defender for Marseille. I'm not sure how they'll be able to cope without him. But I think they'll do well enough to not crash out the group. And runners-up, I've got Sporting Club de Portugal, or Sporting CP. Runners-up in the Portuguese League, Sporting are back in the UCL. Unfortunately, they have lost two good players in the likes of Palhinha and Nunes to Premier League outfits, which is never good. They do still have some good attacking threat though, and they will definitely be scoring goals this season. Plus their defence is very, very decent, and it'll give them a great chance at surviving this group quite comfortably, I think. I don't think Frankfurt or Marseille will really threaten them. And in first place, we've got Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, I'm backing Tottenham to actually do quite well in the Champions League. This group should be quite easy for Tottenham, but they are Tottenham after all, so they could Spurs it up. They've easily one of the scariest front lines in this group, probably the entire competition minus a couple clubs. Kane, Son and Kulusevski. What a force to be reckoned with. Now, admittedly, Son has not been scoring like he was last season, but he's still an amazing player and part of this amazing front three. They also heavily strengthened their squad over the summer with the likes of Spence, Richarlison and Perisic coming in. So I can see Tottenham going deep in the UCL, despite Conte's track record in the Champions League. And in Group E, we've got Dinamo Zagreb, Chelsea, RB Salzburg and AC Milan. And in fourth place, Dinamo Zagreb. Coming up through the playoffs are the Croatian League winners, Dinamo Zagreb. They got put in a tough group, so it's very unfortunate for them. They beat a number of sides through the playoffs to be here, so I think they'll do decent-ish. I can see another sheriff situation here if one of the teams above them underestimates them as just like a little Croatian side. They could get a very shocking win over one of these teams, I think. It's going to happen, watch out. And in third place, I've got RB Salzburg. Now, Salzburg lost 4 players this season, among them Brendan Aronson and Karim Adeyemi, both very, very good players. So it's a shame for Salzburg to lose those talents, but they still have a wealth of talent that they can draw from within their ranks, as well as making new signings like Fernando, who's got off to a great start this season, and I imagine he'll only get better. And then runners up, we've got Chelsea. Now Chelsea are back after getting Benzema last season. They gained Koulibaly to upgrade their defence after losing Rudiger, and added some depth in a very strange transfer window, bringing the likes of Cucurella and Sterling. They have quality throughout the squad, but have looked terrible at points throughout the season so far, so I'm not sure if they'll somehow fumble the Champions League. I can't see them happening, but there's definitely going to be some stumbles in this group. And then the winner of Group E is AC Milan. Now AC Milan were looking to right the wrongs of their campaign last year, where they finished bottom of their group. They did win the Scudetto though, so they'll be fired up, ready for some Champions League football. Their squad is very strong this season. The centre-back pairing of Tomori and Kalulu are like brick walls, the brick walls of Milan. And Mike Magnan is a superb keeper. Right, that man is he's gonna do bits for them this season. Rafael Leao is a crazy baller as well, so I can only see AC Milan doing well in Europe this season. And Group F, we've got the likes of Celtic, Leipzig, Real Madrid and Shakhtar Donetsk. And unfortunately for the Ukrainian outfit, I've got them in fourth place. Now Shakhtar Donetsk did win the Ukrainian Premier League last season. They saw their team raided due to the conflicts currently happening in Ukraine. However, they still have a solid squad who can nab a few points here and there. However, I can't see them moving through to the knockout stages. And in third place, I've got RB Leipzig. Now, Leipzig did not have a great season last season after losing both their captain and their coach. However, they managed to turn it around, and Christopher Nkunku had a great season throughout. Werner has also returned, but remains to be seen whether he can conduct the old Werner to take Leipzig far in the Champions League. He didn't play well at Chelsea, but maybe a move back to Leipzig is what he needs to really kick on. Runners up of the group, I have Celtic. Celtic don't normally seem to do well in Europe, but I can see them surviving the group stage along with their Glasgow rivals Rangers. They regained their Scottish title last season, so I think they'll be ready to do it all again. I want to make note of the Japanese talent. Celtic and Japanese talent go together like bread and butter, with the likes of Kyogo, Medea and Hatate all being absolute ballers for Celtic last season, and I think that's only going to continue this season. And in Group G, we've got Man City, Sevilla, Dortmund and Copenhagen. I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win this group, but we will start in fourth place, and I've got Copenhagen. Copenhagen are back in the Champions League for the first time since 2017, and this is partly down to Victor Claesson, who's been looking. Claesson. I had to get in there just for that pun. They have a very decent squad with some solid, such as Pep Biel, Matt Ryan and Dennis Vavra, but I can't seem to be able to perform too well in this group due to the competition they have. Sevilla have not had a great transfer window, or a great start to the season for that matter. They lost both Jules Koundé and Diego Carlos, who were their best defenders and really their best players, in my opinion, and they haven't really been able to replace them. They do have a solid midfield with the likes of Ivan Rakitic and Olivier Torres, but the losses they've had will not be good for them, and I can't really see them doing well in this group. They are looking terrible this season as well, so they might even be fourth. And runners-up, I've got Dortmund. One half of the Haaland derby here, as they lost an absolute machine of a player that will be very hard to replace. Initially, they bought Haller as his replacement, but unfortunately he'll be out for some time, and we wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. They grabbed Adeyemi from Salzburg after he performed well in the Austrian league, and I think he'll do well for them here as well. They added to their defence with the likes of Schlotterbeck and Zula, who will hopefully stop them conceding as many goals. However, that remains to be seen. They also have Jude Bellingham too, who is an absolutely brilliant player, one of the best talents, one of the best English talents in the world. And obviously, the winners of Group G will be Man City, second half of the Haaland derby. Boy, is he on fire for them. Not only that though, he's being fed by Kevin De Bruyne, who is just going to be firing in balls left, right and centre. Man, Haaland's going to score a lot this season, not to mention the other attacking threats which carried them to the Premier League title last season. They added their midfield with Cohen Phillips too. The Yorkshire Perlo is here at Man City, and he's going to do well for them as well if he actually gets a good run of games. But obviously the competition of the Man City squad is crazy. They should walk this group with ease. I can't see any club really troubling them at all. And finally, we have Group H with the likes of Juventus, Maccabi Haifa, Benfica and Paris Saint-Germain. And in fourth place, I've got Maccabi Haifa. After winning the Israeli Premier League back-to-back, they won themselves a Champions League spot in what was a crazy playoff match against Red Star. They scored 62 goals in the Israeli League, far more than any other side managed, with Omer Atzili being their top goal scorer with 20 goals, with the likes of Dean David and Dolev Haziza also contributing their fair share of goals. Unfortunately for them, however, I think the step up from the Champions League from the Israeli Premier League is a very, very huge gap, and I can't see them scoring too many against the teams in this group. They did get shafted with this group, to be honest. Some really big teams in here. And in third place, maybe shockingly, I've got Juventus. Now, Juventus are not the team they once were, only just managing to maintain top four by a couple points. Pog is back after not having a great time at Manchester United, so it remains to be seen whether he'll be able to play well for Juve again. He had a great season last time he was here, so hopefully he can turn it on again. But other than that, they've signed Filip Kostic and Bremer to strengthen their squad. However, despite these signings, I could not see Juve performing too well this season, and for their run of bad form to continue. Runners up, I've got Benfica. Now, Benfica didn't do badly last season and have generally kept that same squad together, minus Nunes, Vertonghen and Everton. Consuelo Ramos looks to be filling in the whole Nunes left, and I'm sure he'll perform well in this in the Portuguese league this season, and I'm sure he'll score goals in the Champions League for them as well. They've made a good start to the season with an unbeaten run at the time of recording. I'm back in Benfica quite well this season. And the winners of Group H, I think everyone knew it was coming, but it's Mbappe Football Club. I mean PSG. Once again, they will advance from their group stage, but probably fall in the round of 16. Pochettino is gone, replaced by Gautier, and PSG are looking much better than they were last season. Mbappe, Messi and Neymar, what a front three that is, and they're playing as we would have expected. My gosh, they got rid of Poch and suddenly they're an even better team than they were before. They're playing some lovely fluid football, going from the back to the midfield to the front three, as they should be. They weren't doing that last season, they are now, and they're looking even better. But can they keep up their domestic form and translate into the Champions League? That remains to be seen. There's potential for them to do really well this season. As I said, the squad is looking much better than it was last season. They're definitely going to win the group for sure. So those are my predictions for the group stages of the Champions League. I just want to touch on who I think will win the Champions League and who I think will be runners-up. And I think Manchester City are going to win the Champions League. They brought in Haaland, and Haaland is going to do it for them. They get far every year without a striker, and now they have an out-and-out striker in Haaland, who is a machine. Jack Grealish is going to come good as well. It's over for the Champions League. Man City are winning it for the first time. I can see it happening this season, and they're going to beat Real Madrid in the final. It's going to happen. I know Real Madrid beat them last season, but this season it's different. Man City are winning the Champions League this season. Clip it, do whatever you want with it. It's happening.